I'm Karam, the battle-tested lawyer. I'm a business mentor for entrepreneurs and a former 20-year courtroom attorney. This is Fraud Files. Now, I've handled fraud from every angle: criminal defense, civil litigation, business fraud investigations. Over 20 years, I've seen hundreds of fraud situations, and I've helped identify fraudulent investors, Ponzi schemes, you name it. Courtroom doesn't care about your intentions. It only cares about your actions, your offers, and whether or not they meet the legal definition of fraud. So here's what we're going to do in this video today. First, I'm going to show you the real case of Kevin Trudeau and the 3 mistakes that turned his $37 million worth of offers into fraud. Second, I'm going to break down exactly what fraud means under the law, because most entrepreneurs are really confused about it. And third, I'm going to reveal the 3 ways your offer can be considered fraud, even with good intentions, plus the legal fixes that protect you from criminal liability. This is Fraud Files. We're examining entrepreneurial fraud from both sides, how the entrepreneurs commit it, and how you can spot it and avoid it. So Kevin Trudeau thought he was just good at marketing. He sold weight loss products with offers like eat whatever you want and still lose weight, and lose 30 pounds in 30 days without diet or exercise. His infomercials generated $37 million. He had thousands of satisfied customers posting testimonials. He genuinely believed his products worked and his offers were just persuasive marketing. But Kevin made 3 critical mistakes that turned his marketing into legal fraud. First, he made claims about weight loss results that his products couldn't deliver for most people. Second, he used customer testimonials without disclosing that they were paid or that results weren't typical. And third, he structured his offers to make it difficult for customers to get promised refunds. Kevin didn't wake up planning to commit fraud. I don't think he did. He was doing what every marketing guru teaches: create irresistible offers, use social proof, minimize refunds, right? But in court, intention doesn't matter. I bet you didn't know that. The FTC proved his offers were deceptive, and Kevin got 8 years in federal prison for what he thought was aggressive marketing. So this is exactly why entrepreneurs and investors seek me out. I'm what you call a fraud whisperer. To me, over the past 20 years, when you see so much fraud, it creates a pattern. You start to recognize the hallmarks, the buzzwords, the way people look, the way people act. It's always a different character, but it's always the same characteristics. So let me explain what fraud actually means under the law, because most entrepreneurs think fraud requires criminal intent. And it doesn't. There are multiple types of fraud that can destroy your business, and most of them don't require you to intend the harm. Now, common law fraud is the classic fraud that people think of: intentional deception for financial gain. But advertising fraud is much broader and much more dangerous for entrepreneurs. Now, under FTC regulations, deceptive advertising occurs when you make representations that are likely to mislead consumers who are acting reasonably. And these representations are material to consumers' purchasing decisions. Notice what's missing: the intent to deceive. The FTC doesn't care if you meant to mislead people. They only care if your offers are likely to mislead them. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen entrepreneurs do that. Now, consumer protection fraud varies by state, but generally it includes any deceptive practice in trade or commerce. This can include false advertising, bait and switch tactics, failure to deliver promised goods or services, or misrepresenting the nature of your business. And the penalties could be very harsh for these offenses. I know I've put companies out of business based on fraud claims, and you can't discharge those in bankruptcy. Now, securities fraud applies when you're raising money or making investment-related claims. So if you promise returns, show income potential, or suggest that your program is an investment opportunity, you're entering securities law territory where it gets really scary and where fraud definitions are extremely broad. Now, the common thread is this: fraud doesn't require evil intent. It requires deceptive practices that harm consumers, and there are dozens of ways your offers can be legally deceptive. Even when you believe that they're truthful, it's really, really broad. So here are 3 specific mistakes that entrepreneurs make that can be deceptive advertising. Number 1 is making unsubstantiated claims. You make statements about your product's effectiveness, your program's results, or your system's performance without adequate proof. This system helped me make 6 figures. Becomes fraud when you can't prove the system was the cause of your success. Most students get results in 30 days. Becomes fraud when you don't have data showing most students actually get results in 30 days. This supplement boosts energy. Becomes fraud when you don't have clinical studies proving energy benefits. The legal standard isn't whether your claims are true. It's whether you have competent and reliable evidence to support them before you actually make them. If you're making claims based on your personal experience, a few customer testimonials, or industry assumptions, you're potentially committing unintentional fraud. Mistake number 2 is using misleading social proof and testimonials. You use customer success stories without the proper context or disclaimers. So a customer who made $50,000 becomes proof that your system worked, but you don't mention that they already had a business, that they invested $20,000 in advertising, and that they worked 80 hours a week. You show before and after photos without disclosing that the person also changed their diet and exercise routine. You feature testimonials from your best customers without clarifying that those results aren't typical. Now, under FTC guidelines, testimonials must reflect typical consumer experiences, or you must clearly disclose the results aren't typical. Using your best success stories without context is legally deceptive advertising, even if the testimonials are completely real. So mistake number 3 is guarantee manipulation and refund obstruction. You offer money back guarantees to reduce the purchase resistance, but you structure the guarantee to make refunds difficult, unlikely, impossible, you name it. You require customers to complete impossible tasks before qualifying for refunds. You have hidden time limits or conditions not clearly disclosed at the purchase. You make the refund process so complex that most people just give up. You're using the guarantee to make the sale, but you're not honoring the guarantee as customers reasonably expect. So even if your terms of service technically allow this, courts can still find it fraudulent. If customers are misled about their refund rights and you don't want to be there, you never want to be in court. Kevin Trudeau committed all these 3 mistakes. So how do you avoid being him? How do you avoid the criminal sentence? How do you protect yourself from unintentional fraud? Fix number 1 is substantiate before you claim. Before making any statement about results, effectiveness, or outcomes, document your evidence. Keep records of customer results, clinical studies, expert opinions, or research that supports your claims. If you can't prove it in court, don't claim it in your marketing. How about that? Create a claim substantiation file for every major statement in your offers, because an attorney like this is going to pick it apart. Fix number 2, contextualize all social proof. When using testimonials or case studies, include full context and appropriate disclaimers. John made $50,000 using our system. John already owned a business, invested $20,000 in advertising, and worked full-time for 8 months. Results are not typical, right? This protects you legally while still providing compelling social proof. Now, fix number 3 is to honor guarantees as customers expect them. If you offer a money-back guarantee, make it genuinely accessible, simple refund process, reasonable requirements, clear time limits, prominently disclosed. Don't use guarantees as sales tools unless you're prepared to honor them exactly as customers will understand them. So a lesson from Kevin Trudeau and hundreds of entrepreneurs facing fraud charges is this: the law defines fraud much broader than most people realize, and good intentions provide almost no legal protection. So in my 20 years handling fraud cases, I've seen brilliant entrepreneurs destroy their lives over offers they thought was just good marketing. The prosecutors don't care about your intentions, your adversary, the FTC doesn't, judges don't care about your customer success stories, juries don't care about your business coach's advice or your funnels. They care about whether your offers deceive consumers, and that's a much lower bar than most entrepreneurs realize, and I've seen it in the courthouse steps. So the stakes are your business, your assets, your freedom, and your future. Every offer you make is a potential fraud case waiting to happen. Protect yourself with evidence, context, and honest guarantees. After 20 years of being both an entrepreneur and an attorney, I can see liabilities coming from miles away. So stick with me. I'll keep you safe. So now that you understand fraud, you have to understand how to protect yourself from personal liability. And it's not just filing for an LLC. That doesn't protect you. What protects you is legally bulletproof in your LLC. And that's in the next video. Click below. I'll see you there. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, but if you're sick of guessing whether your business is exposed to legal threats you can't see or didn't know was coming, those enemies, mistakes, and liability that cause entrepreneurs to lose, then I've got something very special for you. It's my free business risk report, the same kind of analysis I charge $7,500 for in person when I do my business defense legal mastermind. Click the link below. Answer some strategic questions about your business and get a personalized risk report. You've got nothing to lose. Find out what's hunting you and your business before it destroys everything you've built. I'm Karam, the battle-tested lawyer. Stay legally bulletproof, please.